What are the what are the coping strategies? How to deal with the stress? And both preventive as well as curative. Once preventive, and once you are stressed, de-stress yourself. Okay. Here I have organized under mental health principles, finding some quiet moment for yourself, and developing proper personality orientation and time management. Okay. Now, under mental health principle, it is said that we should not be overwhelmed by problems. Whenever there is any problem, we should not be succumbed to that. You see, we should face that problem. Okay. That is a mental tendency that you can develop. You see, first of all, if you take some activities which are not that difficult, then you work it through, and then you succeed it and take it like that in your day-to-day life. If you approach step by step, you will not have the tendency to run away from the problem. The moment we have a problem, we have a circumstance, instead of trying to attack that problem, to face that problem, our first tendency is to run away from the problem. The reason for this, in our behavior, there are two things that influence our behavior. One is called fear of failure. Another is called taste of success. You see. Now, those who have that fear of how these are developed due to our experience in our early childhood, in our family circumstances, and so on. So, those who have this fear of failure, they actually perceive a kind of threat in the situation. You see, but those who are influenced by taste of success, they develop a personality orientation which will help them to face this stress. How do you develop this? See, you should celebrate, you should work on problems, you will succeed. Whenever you succeed, you celebrate that success, even if the success is, even if it is small success. Then you develop, that optimism. You have to optimism, and you will be able to confront it. Then another thing is, in Gita also it is said that you should not be too obsessed with the results. See, karmanyeva adhikaraste, that is, you are bound for action. This is happening in the case of students who have this, what I call it as examination phobia or examination fever. You see, how it happens? Does it happen to all students who are studious and others, who neglect their studies? The causes are many, those, isn't it? What happens is, when you join the course, you find, due to some reason, you do not follow the subject being taught, either because of your background, you don't have that much standard in English. Okay, so you don't follow certain portions, so you overlook it, and later portions it becomes more and more difficult. This may be you don't follow, it is maybe partly your difficulty, because you come from the instruction is in English, and you come from varied backgrounds and may not have adequate standard in English, or the teachers, it is 50-50. Teachers may not be making adequate effort. You see, they may not be seeing this individual difference. In a class of 70 people, you find some students follow, but there are other students who do not follow. Okay, but it's a standard lecture. It's not no variation. How does the teacher know whether the student is following the lecture? He has no. How does he know? He has to ask the questions, isn't it? After dealing with something, he asks the student, and the student has to answer probing questions. Okay, or he should ask somebody to If you ask questions related to that, a teacher can know that this student has not understood what I am saying. Or ask the student to summarize something what he or she has lectured. You see? And here, it so happens you find individual differences among you, but you don't have a culture of helping each other. You don't have a culture of helping each other. You see? Each one of you keep your knowledge as your secret. Because you think that if I tell him that I may lose marks, so you are very secretive. You see? But that is not so. One lighted candle can light many candles, still keeping that flame. Isn't it? But we know this, but we don't practice it. I assume if you, the ability that you have is so varied, that if you help each other, imagine the result. It's called synergistic effect. 2 plus 2 is not 4. You see? Or 2 plus it is not in arithmetic proportion. 2 plus 5 is 7. But 2 into 5, it is 10. It is in geometric proportion. You see? So these things should be practiced. It is not that you learn, you learn either from the teacher. How much time teacher spends in the class? Very little, not very little, isn't it? Most of the thing, then reading habit. That is, a teacher only helps you to highlight the facts, isn't it? To highlight the facts. But you have to prepare. You have to read. You have to read books. But reading has now taken a back seat. Right? Am I right? Because of your laptop. Once you join the college, the first thing that you ask your dad and mom is, I want a laptop. I tell you, last time when I went to USA, I met a super specialist and I gave him some of my poems written with handwriting. I met in Amma Center in Michigan, Ann Arbor. He told me, he frankly admitted, I don't remember when I used my pen. You see? So that is a state of affairs, is it not? So that should not be so. These gadgets, whether it is laptop, mobile is another. I have written a kavida, that is mobile, a hasya kavida. You see? These are all meant for right use, but we use it in a wrong way, isn't it? We use it in a wrong way. Now, this is the thing. When you come to the college, you should not expect everything from the teacher. Understand? He gives guidelines. Then you have to read yourself. You have to prepare yourself. You have to read a library, and you have to, different people will understand. You read the same book, different people will understand in a different way, different portions and all that. So if you discuss each other, then you get a good understanding. Am I right? You get a good understanding. And right from the beginning, if you don't understand anything, you should stop the teacher. No more step further. You see?